when we talk about personalization, I think one of the great examples which I was fascinated by personalized experiences were 23andMe. When you can figure out, your genetic history, and you could now know where you're coming from. And I think so people were so fascinated by that. And I think that was a great example of personalization. I love your example about, creating your own perfume or your own fragrance. It truly is an example of personalized shopping. We never really thought that I could create a personalized fragrance. And another great personalized shopping experience is also the color shades, right? When you think about
Right.
what foundation or what is the color match technology can do for me, creates a really interesting use case for beauty brands. A few other examples which I came across were like AI powered assistants, where you can have a chatbot or a digital human who can actually be an assistant to you,
Yeah.
or fraud prevention, or creating some kind of a creative smart content. When we talk about generative AI, some of the examples I've seen, an organization called Write, which actually uses generative AI for you to help create marketing messages for your consumers, which I think is really interesting. So there's a lot of examples that I feel that beauty industries can actually take advantage of, from which allows facial mapping or skin analysis, or more personalized recommendation for skincare or possible treatments. So not only it's making you look good, but also feel good, and also improve how you present to the world, which is really, really interesting. But when I think about digital humans, one thing that pops in my head, and especially being, running women leaders organization, where we stand for the mission of bringing women at the table and creating a fair digital world, I feel that the beauty industry truly can take a lead on that, where they can really, with digital human, can create a diverse cultural experience. You can have all shapes and form available as a digital presence, where maybe we can cover the lack of diversity in retail organization as a fair topic. Do you feel that you can envision a time with a wider usage of digital human across many industries, hopefully solving this issue of diversity and creating the representation? Have you seen or experienced digital human coming in play to create that value add for organization?
Sure, absolutely. I think it's just a part of the natural evolution. For example, when you look at the models that we use, whether it's my industry or any other industry, it's historically one type of models. But in the last several years, the diversity has improved, and most organizations have taken the next step of making sure there is a diversity in the models that they use. Like, I'm talking about real models, right? But now with the digital, and then, by the way, there have been instances in the last year or two, we have actually put out some marketing experiences out there with digital form of an influencer. So when you are on a app or a site, etc., you can actually interact with the influencer, which is real influencer, but their digital avatar was the one that's online, for example, right? So we're kind of replicating the real humans into digital avatars in the digital world. And so as part of the natural evolution, it becomes actually AI and avatars makes it so much easier to improve the diversity aspect of it. And I think we can create, I was reading some article somewhere where I'm buying something, and the avatar I'm interacting with, or a help desk that I'm in, the chatbot that I'm interacting with, could look like me. I think that probably, makes me, feel like I could relate to it. Or, you could actually, on the fly, I can envision the technology where you can create an avatar on the fly based on the consumer that is interacting with your site at that moment. So I think it opens up a lot of possibilities. And with AI, Asha, you have seen this, and you have extensive experience in this area. Data plays a huge role for us, right? AI is all about training models, so that is something that we take very, very seriously. So with our data scientists, we want to make sure when we train the models, we take all ethnicities and all shapes and forms of human faces are used to train the model, so that our models are not biased one way or the other, because we are a global company. We serve all sorts of consumers, all forms, shapes, and forms of consumers. So we make sure though that data is fed into the models, right? Same thing with the avatars. Also, we need to be very careful about not stereotyping. As an example, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud here, because I am a Indian brown a shade. Do I want a very similar avatar? Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. So you want to make sure you don't want to get into that stereotype and just to push it on the consumer. So you want to, it's a delicate subject, and I think we all have to move forward very carefully on this aspect of it.
Yeah, I think truly understanding what your consumer really want, and having the right insight of understanding, can they relate to the product, and can they relate to the avatar, and make sure that you're serving the consumer that they want to be served. And I think that's the power of AI, is doing the work behind the scene to understand what the consumer needs are. So you understand what you serve, how you serve your consumer, that can relate to you more effectively. A lot of people get really frustrated when they're getting bombarded with the ads. But if it was really truly helping you save time and decide quickly, then it's fine. So I think there is a balance which you need to create to make sure that you're serving your audience the way they want to be served. The biggest challenge
at the end of the day, I think it's the value that you bring to the table for the consumer, right? It's primarily with your product and the effectiveness of your product. You want to make sure you convey that, and because you actually want to help the consumer look beautiful, feel confident, and all of that. And you achieve that not only primarily with your products, but also with the avatar or the influencer that you're working with.